Hello students, welcome to English class. Today we'll begin with a new poem of our treasure trove textbook. Name of the poem is Television, written by Roald Dahl. To tell you about the style of this poem, Television, written by Roald Dahl, is a long didactic poem. I hope you know what's meant by didactic poem because we have already learned such. Didactic poem means there will be a very good moral message in it. Finally, you will be enriched with a very good moral message. Such type of poems are what we call as didactic poem. This is a long poem, and through this poem, the poet is making an earnest appeal to parents to keep their children away from watching television to reading of books. That is, according to poet, television is an idiot box. He doesn't approve children watching television for a long period of time. So, to say about the main theme of the poem, the main theme of the poem is in the form of the poet appealing to the parents to throw the television set away and install in its place a bookshelf on the wall so that the next coming generation or the young children will grow up as highly imaginative and intelligent ones. So let's begin with the poem. So summary of the first 6 lines. That is, the most important thing we have learned so far as children are concerned is never, never, never let them near your television set, or better still, just don't install the idiotic thing at all. So what is referred as idiotic thing here? It is actually the television set. And what is the most important thing that the poet, or according to poet, that he had learned in his life? The important thing that he had learned is that never to allow the children near the television set, and moreover not to install a television set at home at all. That much against the poet is against installing a television and allowing young children to watch television. So the next part. In almost every house we have been, we have watched them gaping at the screen. They loll and slop and lounge about and stare until their eyes pop out. So, through this part, the poet is telling about what is the common scene that he had seen in majority of the houses where there is a television set. What could be seen is in almost all the house that the poet had been, he could find the children gaping at the screen. Gaping means watching attentively. They loll and slop and lounge about. They will be sitting and standing in a very lazy manner watching television. And they will be staring until their eyes pop out. Eyes pop out means the eyes will be totally bulged out of complete tiredness. Understood? So, these children, whether in those houses where there is television set, what the poet has observed is that the children will be sitting and staring at the television set, will be lolling, sloping and lounging about. All these indicates the laziness of children who watch television. That is, lolling, slopping and lounging, standing or sitting in a very lazy manner. So these children are usually lazy, those who simply waste their time watching television. And they will be staring the television until their eyes pop out, until their eyes are totally tired of watching it. So that is the condition of majority of the houses where there is a television set. They sit and stare and stare and sit until they are hypnotized by it, until they are absolutely drunk with all the choking, ghastly junk. So the poet is telling what the children are doing always. They are sitting and staring, and they will be staring and sitting until they are hypnotized by it, until they are mentally influenced by this television set, or until they are brainwashed by the programs of the television. And it is just like they becoming absolutely drunk. They are, they lose their consciousness because of the useless and ghastly junk, that is frightening and useless stuff, which is displayed on the television screen. That is, the children are totally brainwashed, and it is just like they're becoming absolutely drunk. Because all these are because of the frightening and the useless programs that could be found in the television set. Now the poet is telling there will be ample reasons for the parents as to state that television is again, or television is required at home. Why the parents say so, according to the poet, is that whenever the parents make the children sit before the television set, there won't be any fighting, kicking, or punching at home. They leave you free to cook the lunch and wash the dishes in the sink. But did you ever stop to think, to wonder just exactly what this does to your beloved thought? So the poet is telling parents allow the children to watch television because they keep quiet when there is television, when the television program is displayed, or they don't fight or punch again with each other, and also they provide enough time for the parents to cook the lunch and to wash all other extra utensils in the sink. If television is not there, children will never do so. So according to author, these are the reasons which the parents might state to prove that television is not a very bad thing. And here we find the poet asking to the parents whether they had ever wondered just exactly what this television is doing on their beloved tot. Tot means on their small children, on their small child. Then he's telling what are the harm effects of television. It rots the sense in the head. It kills imagination dead. So he's telling if there is a television set at home and if you are allowing your children to watch the television, then it will lead to rotting of their sense. That is, it will lead to decaying of their common sense. It decays the sense in the head. It kills imagination dead. Such children will not have a bright imagination too. It clogs and clutters up the mind. Moreover, it fills a mind with all useless thoughts. Just like a drain gets clogged up, similarly, a mind gets blocked up. With what? With clutters. Clutters means with useful thoughts. It makes a child so dull and blind he can no longer understand a fantasy, a fairy land. So he's telling. Moreover, it's very sure that if you allow your kids to watch television, it will make your child go dull and blind. And finally, he will never be able to understand a fantasy or a fairy land. His brain becomes as soft as cheese. Not only that, his brain will become as soft as cheese. As soft as cheese means can be easily influenced. His brain can be easily influenced. His power of imagination his power of thinking rust and freeze. Not only that, his level of thinking itself gets rusted and frozen. He cannot think, he only sees. So finally he's telling what will be the plight of a child who watches television for such a long duration of time is that he will not be able to think at all. He can only see the items, he cannot think. That is what the point means is that slowly, television kills our imagination. We accept only what we see. We do not go beyond what we see on the screen. As a result, our imagination also dies. All right, you'll cry, all right, you'll say. But if we take the set away, what shall we do to entertain our darling children? Please explain. So, the poet is telling, now if I tell you, such and such are the harm effects of television, parents might ask me, all right, we know everything. But if we take the set away, but if we are going to take the set away, set here means television. If we take the television set away, what shall we do to entertain? How can we entertain our kids, our darling children? Please explain. So, the next question, which will come from the parents. If I say that watching television is bad as that, they will ask then instead of television, what else can we use to entertain our kids? We'll answer this by asking you what you, the darling, wants to do. Then the poet is telling, if anyone come and ask me, then how can we entertain our children? I'll ask you back. My question will be, what you, the darling, wants to do? What did the kids of long before do in order to entertain themselves? Before, television was not invented. Then what did the children of those days do in order to entertain themselves? That is the question which I am going to ask them in retort. The poet is saying, I'll again ask them, how used they keep themselves contained before this monster was invented? The poet is telling, I'll ask such parents how the children of those days made themselves happy, themselves content, meaning themselves happy before this monster was invented. Which is the monster mentioned here? Yes, it is television. Before the television was invented, how did the young children spend their time and how did they make themselves content or happy? Have you forgotten? Don't you know? We'll say it very loud and slow. So he's telling, so you forgot your olden days, how you had enjoyed your school days before the television was invented. So he's telling, maybe you forgot it. Then I'll tell you loudly. We'll say it very loud and slow. Loudly and slowly, let me tell you. They used to read. They'd read and read and read and read and then proceed to read some more. Great Scott, gadzooks, one half their lives was reading books. The nursery shelves held books galore. Books cluttered on the nursery floor, and in the bedroom, by the bed, more books were waiting to be read. Such wondrous fine, fantastic tales of dragons, gypsies, queens, and whales, and treasure isles and distant shores, where smugglers rode with muffled oars, and pirates purple wearing purple pants, and sailing ships and elephants, and cannibals crouching round the pot, stirring away at something hot. So the poet is explaining very properly as to how the children had spent their childhood days long before televisions were invented. How did they spend their time? It was by reading. What sort of books did they read? They read. They used to read. They read and read and read and read and then proceed to read some more. So that was how they spaced their time on those days. It was by reading and reading instead of simply lolling and lounging on the bed. Great Scott, gadzooks. So, Great Scott and gadzoo. It is actually an exclamation term used to express your surprise. Clear? That is, Great Scott, gadzooks. Just like you say, oh my God, and so, he has used the term Great Scott, gadzooks. Clear? One half their lives was reading books. So, how the children of those days had spent their childhood days is by reading books. Their nursery shelves held books galore, and even in the bookshelves of their nursery, there were many books galore. Galore means there were plenty of books. Books cluttered up the nursery floor. Even the floor of the nursery were full of books. And in the bedroom, by the bed, more books were waiting to be read. Not only in the school, in the nursery, and so, even in the bedroom, it was all full of books. Such wondrous, fine, fantastic tales. And what were the main content or who are the main characters in their books? That is what is mentioned here. Being small kids, they usually read stories about dragons, gypsies, queens, whales, treasure isles of distant shores, unknown shores, just like Arabian stories and so. where smugglers rode with the muffled oars, and pirates wearing purple pants and sailing ships and elephants. And even they read stories about cannibals crouching round the pot, staring away at something hot. Not only that, they also read stories about cannibals. You know who are cannibals? Cannibals means man eaters. That is, they're crouching round the pot, staring away at something hot. Maybe in your childhood days, you might have read stories about cannibals or man-eaters who steals human beings or small babies and kids, and they put them in a big pot, boil them, have it, and so. That way, the stories which we were familiar with or which we enjoyed during our school childhood days. It smells so good. What can it be? Good gracious, it's Penelope. So, cannibal is boiling something in a pot, right? So, on reading the story, you came to know what the cannibals were boiling or stirring away in that hot pot. It smells so good. What can it be? Good gracious, it's Penelope. So when you read further, you came to know that what the cannibals were boiling in the pot was Penelope. Penelope, as per the myth or as per the Greek legends, Penelope is the name of wife of Greek hero Odysseus. Penelope is the name of wife of Odysseus, one of the Greek hero. But here actually Penelope refers to a kind of dish. Here Penelope means a kind of dish. Anyway, what the cannibal was boiling in that hot pot is Penelope. It's a kind of dish. Clear? So those were the contents of stories of those days which you read. Isn't it? You read stories about dragons, gypsies, queens, whales, treasure isles, distant shores, and such, which was capable of increasing the imagination of young boys and girls. Now, that's not the end of the list of books. The younger ones at Beatrix Potter, with Mr. Todd the Dirty Rotter, and Squirrel Nutkin Pickling Band, and Mrs. Tiggy Wingle, and just how the camel got his arm, and how the monkey lost his trump, and Mr. Toad, and bless my soul, there's Mr. Rat and Mr. Mole. So, if you are a kid smaller than a 10 years or 12-year-old boy, then again for you another category of book is available for small kids. And this series of books is mainly of Beatrix Potter series. Who is Beatrix Potter? Have you heard of Beatrix Potter? Beatrix Potter is name of a famous British writer, and Beatrix Potter is mainly famous for writing animal stories. Animal stories. When you were in second standard and third standards, or second grade, third grade students, and so, you might have read many colorful books where animals were the main characters: rabbit, rat, pig, and likewise. Isn't it? And majority of the books comes under Beatrix Potter series. So some of the lessons or some of the knowledge imbibed by the kids by reading Beatrix Potter series includes just how the camel got his hump, or how the monkey lost his rump. Then also they read many other stories of Mr. Todd, Mr. Rat, Mr. Mole, and so all of animal characters. Oh, books, what books they used to read, those children living long ago. So the poet is telling, so that was the golden age. It was a time or it was a phase when the children read a number of books. Oh, books, what books they used to read, how many number of books kids of those days used to read. Those children living long ago. And he is mentioning which category of students? Children? Yes, children who lived long ago. So finally, we find the poet requesting the parents. Let's see what the poet is requesting the parents to do. So please, oh please, we beg, we pray, we are begging to you, we are praying, we are requesting to you. Go throw your TV set away. My request to you is that you have to please throw your TV set away. And in its place, you can install a lovely bookshelf on the wall. And in the place of that television set, you install a lovely bookshelf on the wall. So, what the poet is advising to the parents is that first of all, you throw your television set away, and in the place of that television set, you install a good bookshelf. Then fill the shelves with lot of books. Not only that, you have to fill the shelves with lot of books, ignoring all the dirty looks. Dirty looks. Who's going to give you dirty looks? That is, dirty looks here refers to the protest against the children, how they will protest against the parents for removing the television set from the wall. The looks given by the children as a protest against parents for removing the television set from the wall. Clear? So you just ignore the dirty looks of your children, the screams and yells, the bites and kicks. Not only that, they will be screaming, yelling, biting, and kicking you. For what? For removing the television set. And children hitting you with the sticks. Sometimes they will be so aggressive that they will come and hit you even with a stick. Fear not, because we promise you that in about a week or two of having nothing else to do, they'll now begin to feel the need of having something to read. So, point is telling these are going to be the consequence if you remove the television set from your home. But you need not fear a lot about it. Because we promise you, because I'm sure or I promise you that in a week or two, that in about a week or two, there will be a change in your kids of having nothing else to do. Now they don't have the television set at home anymore. They don't have any item to entertain themselves at home. So since they are not having anything else to do, what they will the feeling in the children in a child will be they'll now begin to feel the need of having something to read. So now they will have a feeling that I have to find out some other alternative in order to enjoy myself. Television set is no more at home, so I should entertain myself through some other means. So now they'll have a feeling or they'll begin to feel the need of having something to read. In order to pace my time or in order to recreate myself, I should find out some other alternative. So as a result, they will look for having something to read. And once they start, oh boy, you watch the slowly growing joy that fills your hearts. So the poet is in a very assuring mood. The poet is telling that I'm very sure that once your kid starts reading, they will start they will start becoming happy, or they will be happy. It will be happiness that fills your hearts. I'm sure about it once they start reading. They'll grow so keen. Moreover, they will become really sharp and imaginative. And they'll wonder what they had ever seen. And they will be sitting and wondering, why did I waste my time watching that stupid mission? They'll wonder what they had seen in that ridiculous mission, that nauseating, foul, unclean, repulsive television screen. So, what are the adjectives used to describe that stupid mission? It is a ridiculous one. It is a nauseating one. Nauseating means a very disgusting one. It is a repulsive one. It is a hateful one. Clear? At the same time, when they start avoiding this television screen, they are becoming so keen. Keen means they are eager. They are eager to read the books. Clear? Repulsive television screen. And later, each and every kid will love you more than you did. Then will love you more for what you did. Not only that, later, once this repulsive and false, idiotic mission is removed from your home, your kids will start loving you, or they will start loving their parents for replacing the television set with the books. So, what's the entire theme of this poem? or the main crux of this poem is the poet asking the parents to remove the television set from home and to install a bookshelf full of books instead of that repulsive machine. According to poet, what will be the condition of the child who keeps on watching television? Or what are the main disadvantages of watching television? So here are the main points. It is a passive activity. It blocks fresh thinking. It rots the mind of child. It fills the mind of child with useless thoughts. It destroys the imaginative faculty. It makes a child dull. Brain becomes soft and they lose the power to think and imagine. So, what the poet means through this poem is that though television and internet is capable of providing every type of knowledge, in order to add wisdom to knowledge, we must go back to good old books. Books, traditional or non traditional, are irreplaceable. It cannot be a substitute for that is the books, television or internet or any other such medias can never be, is never capable of replacing the books. So dear students, we'll wind up our class here. Goodbye.